What up, what up, what up, everybody? Your boy G the Ico here. My cat decided to come jump on my desk at the same moment as well. Your boy is wearing the blacklist. I wouldn't say it's a jacket, I guess. It's not a jersey, I guess, but no, the jersey jacket. The jersey jacket. I got it. I'm gonna kind of let a lot of people fill in here. It's been a good day. So NACT top 8, as you guys know, they're on the screen right there. One of the things I did want to talk about is that, like, the ranking behind these teams here. Guys didn't know BTK had a crawl through the bottom bracket. It was absolutely crazy. I posted all of their games that I was able to watch at the time of them going through the games. So big shout out, much love to Moontime, much love to Assassin Dave, all the crew that made all of that possible. Shout out to the NACT mods that had to deal with all of the craziness. It was an eventful day, to say the least. Now kind of going on like a power ranking here. I kind of wanted to talk about a power ranking as well, and I'm actually going to attempt to actually like it. Here we go. All right, so there's a couple things that I wanted to do here. We can look at some of this. Let me get my pen tool out here. As you can see, my mic. So some things I want to point out here is that you can clearly see their win rate, right? Like there's quite a few people that have 100%. We'll get rid of that one right there. So we see that there's 4 teams that have 100% win rate, but what you guys need to watch out for is, like, you see the games that they've played. They didn't have like a gruesome battle, right? Like, you can definitely tell that BTK 6 games, Wasian 6 games, of course, Lami Top 6 games. So to be honest, like, Wasians, BTK, and Lami Top are equivalent. And I would say my ranking, right? Like, if we're basing this off of numbers alone of win, loss, and win percentage, you can kind of put BTK, BTK, Wasians, and Lami Top, and I would say the second tier. First tier would be the top 4 teams, which would be Area 77, Gosu, the Ohio Brothers, and Ackerman, which were all teams that made it through the top bracket without any problem. And I wanted to go over this stuff because I've seen a lot of people ask, and I know a lot of people want to see what's kind of going on in the NACT. And you guys need, I want you guys to have my opinion here, right? So I'm gonna write a 1 next to four squads. Area 77. These are just based off of initial numbers, right? So all of these with a red 1 are tier 1, A squad, S squad, whatever you want to call them. I'm calling them tiers. We're gonna tier them 1, 2, 3 essentially. And then of course, if we're basing them off numbers, Wasians 2, Blood, BTK 2. And then Lami Top 2, and then we only have 1 team that made it into the 3. And it's crazy that they made it into the 3. It's only because they actually won their lower bracket qualifiers, which was insane. So this is just solely based off of numbers, solely based off of what we see here, right? BTK worked really hard to get to those games. 6, same, and we got to say the same thing for Wasians. We got to say the same thing for Lami Top, even though we weren't able to live stream these games, but I can only imagine that they had as equal as a gruesome crawl as BTK to get through that bracket. Now, the biggest thing that I'll want to go into further is essentially, like, who did they fight? What was their path up, and stuff like that, right? Like, there's plenty to go around here, but based off of this first initial area, The 4 teams based off of numbers, I would say, is Area 77, Gosu, the Ohio Brothers, and Ackerman. Now, I would say those are possible teams to be able to make it. They 100% win rate. They faced all that they could. They didn't have to do a gruesome crawl. And they beat a lot of teams, right? You know, versus some of the teams did fall back. But I don't want you to like set these teams like just because they lost once, it was a mistake that happened, right? You can say that Area 77, Gosu, the Ohio Brothers, Ackerman didn't make mistakes, which is something you want to see in a top 4 team that's going. Also, Team Gosu does not have general. Team Gosu does not have general. That's crazy, right? The Ohio Brothers has basic instead of Gina now. Another one to watch out for is that we have Zia, which Zia has been in pretty much all of the NACT top. The top. I put one. If I had to go back and talk about what my other bracket was, I did put Panda in there, but I was trying to put one. I was trying to put at least one team that I didn't really know, but I've seen in scrims, right? And to be honest, the 2 teams that showed out were the Empire and Lami Top. Lami Top, again, I actually had them hit me up. I think it was maybe their captain, and they're like, "Yo, G, why didn't you stream my game?" You know, and I was like, you know, it is what it is. So you can see Team Gosu, Uzi, Zero are I think normals. If I'm not mistaken, Stoner was in Team Sexy. Wapsie, I think, might have been as well. My memory from that far back is quite fuzzy. So some key players to watch out for, of course. Shark's been getting really flexible, man. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched a lot of their videos, but Shark's getting pretty crazy. Things to watch out for, Wasians. You know, Wasians has Merciless, which is crazy. Also, you can't see him on here, but Yoreshi is like right here in the Ohio Brothers, so that's someone else to look out for. Those are 2 XP lane gods that we're dealing with here, Merciless and Yoreshi. Yoreshi was in Team Max. Next play was what they were. Area 77 just has really a lot of the cuties. I don't know I think I know Gal's cutie, and a lot of the Mar cutie are people to look out for. Those are solid players on Area 77. Ashley's a good player as well. Of course, you already know MOBA ZANE. So there's a few players to kind of watch out for. I'm not sure about Lami Top. This is like a dark horse to me because no one really got to see any of their games. They were not streamed. So I feel like this team's like a giant question mark, right? Like we don't know what's gonna happen with them. Like they clearly showed out because they had to make a gruesome crawl through the lower bracket as well, just like BTK. But they were able to complete it, right? And I mean that blows my mind away. We do know Alex from the Empire. I've seen Jordan, of course, Nicolette and Galaxy, and Rose. Pretty much all of Ackerman is stacked. Like they're a really good team. So yes, all of these underlined are some players that are known. Look out for them. Of course, I mean the Ohio Brothers is also stacked. Basic, they literally everybody's known. Best player, Basic, Shark, and Yoreshi. But again, I would say definitely watch out for them. Like if I had to give a dark horse title, it's going to definitely be Lami Top. What a name! What a name! Though they are in tier 2, I do think that and BTK is in tier 2. All of these are just based off of numbers, so we'll see what they can get done. That is what I want to know, right? So good teams to look out for. Again, we could go into severe detail, and I don't want to make it too long because I just want to talk about this kind of like this portion of it. I might make like another video or something that covers maybe more in depth. But I mean, if we're basing off win-loss and their win percentage, I mean, we're looking at it right now. So definitely tier 1 Area 77 Gosu, the Ohio Brothers Ackerman. Tier 2 Wasians, BTK, Lami Top. And then, of course, the Empire with an 80%. They just didn't play as many games. So I'm not, and again, this is just based off of the numbers. You know, the Empire could definitely be a lot higher than this. I mean, they did put up a good fight against Whiplash. Whiplash made a gruesome crawl. If they would have made it all the way, they just had to never make a mistake, and then they ended up making a mistake against the Empire, unfortunately. So again, I would say the Empire could also be in tier 2, but based off of like win percentage and how many games they played, not really. I mean, they didn't perform like Gosu, right? They did not perform like Gosu. Gosu's 4-0. They're 4-1. Same thing with the Ohio Brothers. That's why I'm putting them a tier below. So yeah, NA stacked. NA stacked. I think we have a good way to go. This is something we can build off of, right? So I'm gonna save this, by the way. We'll save this that way if people want to talk about it. The next thing I want to talk about is where did I go? There, I'm still there. Okay. Is that the dates, man? Like, so we can actually go back to this. A lot of people have asked me these questions, so this is why I wanted to go over all of these, right? So as we're dying in, oh shoot, Lami Top means my people on top. I love that name. Okay. Lami Top, I like it. It rolls off the tongue. Assassin Dave goating it in the chat here. Definitely worth it. Some other big things we want to keep an eye out on. Not player base wise, but as you can see, these are the prizing. So of course, first place is going to get $15,000 and 100,000 diamonds per team. I guess that I don't, per team's a little weird wordedly to me because there can only be one first place. Second, 6,075. I think that's per person. So second place 6,000, third place 2,500 and 50,000. So good place to good amount of money, a lot of money for North America if we're talking about it. In total, I think it's roughly around the $50,000 dollar amount. As another thing is, if you guys would like to know any of the details about the NACT, there is the NACT Spring Season Handbook. This is another good place to literally get information. You can find all of this on start.gg. Search the NACT. Super easy to find. And it gives you a lot of good information. A lot of good information. Now, stepping into the next part of this, right? We're going into the regular season. Though it hasn't started yet. As you can see here, we don't really have too much information that you guys will be able to see if you guys do come to view this. But the regular season is going to be a double round robin. Every team plays each other twice. And then the top 4 moves on to the next to the playoffs here, and then they get tossed back into a tournament mode, right? And then they get I got what the per team means now. Per team, it's for the team. I got it. That makes sense. So back to it. The top 4 gets thrown into the playoffs, and then you go back into a tournament mode, in which then is going to be a best out of 5 for the playoffs. Best the final 2 then jump into the grand finals, which then the grand finals will be at an offline venue to be denounced. To be denounced. So stay tuned for that. But the regular season, by the way, is also going to be 7 weeks. 7 weeks. If you guys pull up the handbook, which again is a really good place to get a lot of information, especially if you're players in the top 8 and you guys do not kind of know what's going on. This is, everybody can access this handbook, and it kind of gives you an idea. So diving into the dates here, it starts every Saturday and Sunday. It's going to go on, as it tells you, it's a round robin. Every team will play all teams in the group 2 times, best out of 3 every match. Easy to read, right? Starts 3-11 and it goes all the way to 4-23, and then bam, playoff stage, right? Double elimination, best out of 5. And then the top 2 teams will attend the grand finals in an offline venue. Bam, easy. I just said all of that. This is a good place to reference back to. And then of course, grand finals, single elimination, best out of 7. A lot of great information here. If you do not know the dates, what up, Momo? What up, everybody in the chat? It's a great place to get information here, right? I think it's what 14 rounds. Yeah, so 14 matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. 7 weeks. You like the shirt chat? 7 weeks is what is going to be the top 8. So a lot of great content's gonna come. Definitely stay tuned. It's gonna be live on all of the Mobile Legend, NA pages. I don't know. It could be on live in other places as well. A lot of content creators are probably going to be invited out to to cross stream it and everything like that. Make a donation. What am I going to make a donation to? I don't got no donation. So a lot of good information that you can find right on this website here. Great information, and you can always keep up to date if you guys need it. It is in the description of this video, if you'd like to. This is only a North American tournament, so it's only Canada and North America that can participate in the NACT. Do you guys have any questions in the chat? You guys want to throw some things at me? I think someone asked who was the MVP of this. It doesn't, I don't think this really it doesn't go over. The NACT is going to be streamed on all of the major platforms, so like MLBB North America. It doesn't really go over like any of the stats that happen in the game, so that's something you won't get. Will I continue to try out? But crowdfunding from the regular season MVP. And it's really hard to actually classify an MVP. Yes, this is the blacklist jacket. Yes. Okay. And it's oh, wrong shoulder. It's really hard to see because it's golden. But this is a Lodius signature right there. Some of like the gruesome games. Let's see. Like, so the Empire, right? They fought S4. They fought Night Hordes. They fought Akaski, which Akaski actually had Hugh in it. Jules Cutie. This was a pretty decent team too. So again, the Empire did have to, and this was in the first tier, and then they got sent down. So that's essentially why they were able to get in here. They ended up winning their placement here against Whiplash, if I'm not mistaken, down here. So Whiplash, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on their 7th game they lost. Man, that is the hardest thing to probably deal with. That is such a long journey, and then to get knocked out by the Empire, rough. I don't handle tryouts. I think we are set this. Are you talking about the Huevos? BTK could be. Yeah, the BTK could win. I mean, BTK is not I wouldn't say BTK's in my top 4, but they are there. I mean, they are in the top 8. They performed good in the lower bracket. They really they did fight some heavy hitters, but they didn't fight anybody of the quality that I'm seeing in the top 8. So I think the true challenge is going to be when they face Team Gosu, when they face Area 77, when they face the Ohio Brothers, when they face Ackerman. Are they going to be able to keep up the standards? Because and then this is why I don't rank BTK on the top, because they did lose to the Forgotten Ones, you know. They literally lost their second game. It could have been that they were a little rusty, but because that happened, I do have to put BTK not in my top 4. Just because they made a mistake. But they can come back, you know, they can come back. So don't attack me. Don't attack me. This is based off of, this is just based off of what I've seen and based off of numbers. I'm not trying to bring any bias into this. If I had anything to say, I enjoy BTK. I like their grit. I love everything that they bring. So they're a good team. They're a good team. And but they make mistakes, and that's something that they can do now when it's a best out of 3 and it's a round robin, right? So that's what kind of puts them up there. I'm just ranking them based off of the qualifiers, you know, like this is like I seen the information. You lost to someone that like the Forgotten Ones, so like, yo, what's gonna go on, right? Like BTK still has the possibility to change everything around. If I took like a bias stance, then I would say that my top 4 teams are, let me take a bias stance, right? My top 4 teams would be BTK, Team Gosu, the Ohio Brothers, and Ackerman. If I took a bias stance, right? Like what I suspect.